So in this video, we're going to discuss the attitude of Ghanaian boat drivers and how I think that encapsulates the struggles that people face in Africa. And this story that I'm about to tell you guys is nothing new if you've tried to take Uber or Bolt before. So I'm going to start off with my personal experience because I think the reason why people suffer in Africa and complain about the system being corrupt and whatnot, finding a whole bunch of excuses. Yes, no system is perfect. In the West, in Africa, wherever you are, there are always issues, but you must understand the system that you're in and act accordingly. That's what a smart man does. Because as one man or, a family of two, you cannot solve the problem of the entire country. So when you worry about stuff that's outside of your control, you are only wasting your energy. You must be thinking about what you can do, what's in your power. And Africans tend to not be good at that. We tend to kind of abdicate all responsibilities to, religion or blame other people like the politicians or whatnot. I know you're right, but how's that excuse helping anyone? So let's jump into this. You're a boat driver. You've got a car. Most of these boat drivers or Uber drivers, they do not own a car in which they are driving. So you got to do sales to the owner. And yet, these people pick and choose who they want to pick up. So my personal experience, right? I want to give you guys 3 bizarre stories that I encountered with boat drivers in Ghana. The first one, which was quite fascinating, was when I was staying at East Legon. So I used to go to this gym, which was like about 1.2 miles from the hotel I was staying at, because the hotel, their gym wasn't good for me. So I was going to Pulse Fitness at Lizzie Sports Complex. One day, I requested for an Uber. It was in the morning, around 11 o'clock. When you request for the Uber, instead of them coming for you, both Uber is the same thing. Instead of them just coming to pick your ass up, like it would be outside of Ghana, like that's your job, the app is up. And when somebody requests, you're supposed to go pick that person up. That's why the app is there. But this boat driver will actually call you to find out where you're going. And then he's going to make the decision whether to pick you up or not. Somebody who's clocked in and working, they pick and choose who's going to pick up. So this is a bizarre story. This guy calls me and he asked me, Bossu, where you going? So I told him I'm going to MJ Grand Hotel. And he was like, oh, where is that? It's at East Legon. And he was like, oh, where, And I'm like, it's not that far. It's about like 1.5 miles, which Ghana, kilometers, we're looking at maybe 3 kilometers roughly. And, I could even walk there because I could walk sometimes if I feel like. And he was like, then walk. And he hanged up and he didn't come. Little did he know that I always tip the boat drivers because I personally feel bad with the fees that they give them. So I always tip them. So he missed out on this, right? And this same person will be complaining about how hard Ghana is. You working, you got somebody that was using you in this vicinity. Is a busy area. Sometimes they complain about if they take you to this place, they might not get a request to go to the next place. And then when you take them to a place where they can get a request, then it's too close. Like, what do you want, right? Another example. I went out with my wife, right? We were out during the night and she was in severe pain. So it wasn't that late. It was like 9:30 at night. This is before my car. So I said, okay, let's leave and try to, request for a boat Uber. And the same thing happened. This time was worse because she was in pain. I'm just trying to get her back to the hotel. I will call these guys and then they will call me first time I ask, boss, where you going? Immediately, when you tell them, they say, oh, I can't go there today, boss. And we tried this like 4 times. These guys will not come and pick us up. And they are working. Like the app is on. They wouldn't come and work. So we just walked out and I saw a boat driver lurking around, waiting for somebody to come out of a lounge. So I just told him, hey, just take this amount, which was like 3 times how much he would get to go to the place, and just take me. So since I got my car, I do not miss these guys at all. My third and last example is I was with my friend's father. Actually, he spent the night with me. He went to court with me, right? I told you guys about my line issues. And where he was going was pretty far. So I didn't feel like driving all the way there and coming back. So I decided to call a boat for him afterwards. Same thing happened. So usually they complain that the ride is too short. And this time the ride was really long, right? Like good amount of money early in the morning. And this guy, and it was in the city, right? So he's definitely gonna get rides after that. And he was like, nah, I don't feel like going there today, and turned on the right. He literally came. He drove. This one didn't call. He came in, and when he got there, he asked us, where are we going? And when we told him, he said, nah, he doesn't feel like going there today. The reason why I'm telling the story about these boat drivers is that is just how Ghana is in general, right? A carpenter who is skilled would take your money and run away with it. People will not show up on time to work. People will screw you over. People will surreptitiously steal from you, do a whole bunch of stuff on you. And when you do things like that, right, it's a whole bunch of stories. People don't think long term. They think about just today, how much can they get, and then they forget about it. But when they do get opportunity to travel outside, when you see Ghanaians working outside, you'll be surprised. They show up on time, they are disciplined, they are working really hard. When you go and work for the white man or somebody outside, you respect their laws, you respect the people around, and you do your best to survive, even doing the most dirtiest jobs. But when you are here with a profession, you do not respect the profession, you do not respect your own kinds of people, you play them, you don't show up on time. That is all disrespectful to the person who hired you. But when you go to another country, you respect their rules, you respect their culture. And if you were to implement the same sort of discipline, there is no location. Your location is your mindset. You are the sum total of your mindset, your attitude, and your beliefs. There is something in your brain known as your reticular activating system. So whatever you believe it is, you believe Ghana is hard, you believe Africa is hard, you can never make it here. Your wish is my command. That's exactly what you're going to get. Whatever you hold in your mind, that's exactly what you're going to get, right? These guys are not perspicacious. You need to have that perspicacity. You need to think long term and see how every system works and move accordingly. America has its own system. It goes against some people, and some people who understand it uses it, and they can do really well for themselves. The same in Ghana. I've met people who came from nothing and earn millions of dollars a year in Ghana here. I have friends who are making millions of dollars. Yes, they made all the money in Ghana. They started traveling once they started making money. And all turned down to their integrity. They started with zero, says their word. She's starting with zero. All you got is your word and your work ethic. And people are just acting lazy, not showing up on time, being careless, not paying attention to details, not respecting the person who's employing them, because the universe works in mysterious ways. I strongly believe in karma. So if somebody employs you and then you act a certain way and you believe that you can do something for yourself later on, my friend, it doesn't work that way. What goes around comes around. That's why everybody complains about customer service in Ghana, because it's people that are working there. You think you're not getting paid well. I get it. So don't work there at all. If you're going to work there, do a great job, because you're gonna get a tip. You're there anyways. You're there anyways, my friend. So you might as well do a great job. And all of these is the reason why you think you cannot make it in Africa, because you are lazy, you're not showing up on time. Oh, let me add this example to it, actually. I've had countless examples of people just showing up and making excuses. So my business partner and I drove like an hour away to go see these people that we're supposed to go on a deal with that I can talk about right now. And this deal is gonna change their lives. The guy was 1 hour late. The other guy found an excuse to go to the hospital and didn't tell us anything about it until we got there. So you walk away, and then tomorrow you're gonna stand there and blame the politicians that they are the reason why you are where you are today. Take personal accountability. You're never gonna be able to go anywhere until you think you are responsible for your life and stop making excuses. Failure permits no alibi. Stop complaining, stop pointing fingers, and look at yourself and within and see what you gotta change. I know plenty of friends here in Ghana who are doing really well. I don't know what to tell you. My neighbors, most of them are Ghanaian born, went to school, understand the power of building a relationship, because that's what all Ghana is about. It's about who you know. Doesn't mean that you have to come from a rich family. You have to be a man of your word and do certain stuff to build a reputation for yourself, and you're going to get hired. Because I have a lot of people around, grew up in Ghana, went to school in Ghana, working in Ghana, and they've built their houses and live in it. Which means I didn't know anybody, right? Except some wealthy friends that I had. I didn't know anybody who owned their house outright when I was moving from America. And I know plenty of people around this area who own their houses outright. Some of them even have apartments rented out, and they're in Ghana, less than 40 years old. So I don't know what to tell you. I really do not know what to tell you. So if you believe that you got to make it out of Ghana in order to make it, your wish is my command. But until then, you could suffer, or you could decide to change your mindset because it's your mindset that's keeping you where you are. Nobody else. Could the politicians be better? Absolutely. But are people making it in these tough conditions? I guarantee you to travel to any country in the world, and you will see that some people have figured out the system and they are doing well for themselves. In any country, no matter how brutal the system is, there is always a way. There is always a way. So your excuses, that we don't permit alibis here. If you've not subscribed to the channel already, kindly do so. Like this video as it helps with the algorithm. Comment, let me know what you think. And until next time, my friends, be legendary. Peace.